June 13th, 1944. Villers-Bocage, Normandy, France. The body was still warm when they found it. Lieutenant James Harding knelt beside the burned-out M4 Sherman, its 75mm gun bent skyward like a broken finger. The tank commander inside had no face anymore, just carbon and bone fused to melted steel. 13 Shermans lost in 11 minutes, not to artillery, not to airstrikes, to one tank. One German Panzer VI Tiger, commanded by SS-Obersturmführer Michael Wittmann. Harding stood and stared down the narrow French road where the Tiger had vanished. Its 88mm gun had punched through Sherman armor like paper. 52 men dead or dying. Harding's hands shook as he lit a cigarette. He commanded Baker Company now, not because he earned it, because everyone above him was dead. His M4A1 Sherman, nicknamed Fury's Sister, sat idling behind him, its Continental R975 engine coughing black smoke. His crew watched from the hatches. Corporal Eddie Daniels on the bow gun, Sergeant Lou Kovac in the turret, Private First Class Tommy Chen loading shells with trembling hands. The radio crackled. Baker Actual, Tiger spotted 3 kilometers north. You have 4 operational Shermans. Engage and destroy. Reinforcements 12 minutes out. 4 Shermans against a Tiger. Harding knew the math. The Tiger's frontal armor measured 100 millimeters thick. The Sherman maxed out at 76 millimeters. One Tiger could destroy 10 Shermans before running out of ammunition. They'd just proven it. But Harding had read the intelligence reports from the Eastern Front. Soviet T-34 crews who survived Tigers didn't survive because of better armor. They survived because they understood something fundamental. The Tiger weighed 54 tons, it was slow, it was blind, and it could only shoot in one direction at a time. They found the Tiger 15 minutes later at a crossroads, its commander's head visible above the cupola, scanning the main road. The massive tank faced south toward where it expected reinforcements. Its flanks were exposed. Harding raised his fist. All 4 Shermans stopped. He could see the German commander clearly now. Young, maybe 23, lighting a cigarette, confident. Tigers were invincible. Everyone knew that. Harding touched his gunner's shoulder. 2 taps. Kovac swung the turret slowly. The crosshair settled on the Tiger's right side, below the turret ring where armor was thinnest. Range 400 meters, load armor piercing. Chen slammed a 75mm shell into the breach. The other 3 Shermans positioned themselves in a semicircle. "Fire," Harding whispered. The Sherman bucked. The shell hit the Tiger's side armor with a sound like a church bell struck by lightning. Then nothing happened. The shell ricocheted off and disappeared into the tree line. The Tiger's commander slammed his hatch shut. The massive turret began rotating toward them, the 88mm gun rising like death itself. "All units, fire! Fire everything!" 3 more Shermans opened up simultaneously. Shells hammered the Tiger from 3 directions. Sparks exploded off its armor. Every shot bounced. The Tiger kept turning, unstoppable, its gun zeroed in on Harding's position. Then Kovac screamed, "The track! I hit the track!" The Tiger's right track had shattered. Links splayed across the muddy crossroads. The massive tank lurched to a halt, unable to move, but its turret kept rotating. The 88mm gun locked onto Baker 3. The Tiger fired. Baker 3 exploded. The turret flew 15 feet into the air. 3 men gone. But the Tiger was stuck. Harding finally understood. You don't beat a Tiger with better armor. You beat it by taking away what makes it dangerous, its mobility. "All units, flank it! Get behind it now!" The 3 surviving Shermans surged forward, engines screaming. The Tiger's turret swung desperately, trying to track multiple targets. It fired again. Baker II took a glancing hit, but kept rolling. Harding's Sherman circled behind the Tiger. Through his periscope, he could see the engine deck, the rear armor, only 82 millimeters thick, the engine grills, exposed, vulnerable. Chen, load high explosive. The Tiger's turret tried to spin around, but Harding was too close. The German commander opened his hatch. His last mistake. Fire. The 75 millimeter shell punched through the engine grill and detonated inside. The Maybach engine exploded. Fuel ignited. Ammunition cooked off. The Tiger's hatches blew open, and black smoke poured out. No one came out. Harding sat trembling. They'd done it. 4 Shermans had killed a Tiger. Lost 1 Sherman. 3 more men. But they'd proven something impossible. Then his radio crackled, a German voice speaking broken English from the Tiger's emergency frequency. American commander, you have destroyed 1 tank, but there are 5 more coming from the east, and now they know where you are. The transmission died. Harding looked east. Through the smoke, he could hear them. 5 distinct engine signatures, 5 Tigers, all heading toward the sound of gunfire. His fuel gauge read 1/4 full, 9 shells left. Command's reinforcements were still 8 minutes out. Kovac turned around. Lieutenant, what do we do? Harding stared at the burning Tiger, at Baker III's overturned turret. We do it again, he said quietly. We do it 4 more times. June 13th, 1944, 11:47 hours. 3 kilometers north of Villers-Bocage. 5 Tigers, 3 Shermans, 17 armor-piercing rounds between them. Lieutenant James Harding did the math while listening to the Maybach engines grow louder. 5 Tigers meant 5 88-millimeter guns that could kill his Sherman at 2 kilometers. The math said they were already dead. But math didn't account for terrain, or the fact that German tank commanders had spent 3 years believing they were invincible. Baker units, pull back into the Bocage. We're making them come to us. The 3 Shermans reversed into the dense hedgerow country. The Bocage was a maze of sunken roads and hedgerows so thick they'd been growing since medieval times. Tigers could smash through them, but it took time and noise. Harding positioned his Sherman behind a collapsed farm building. Baker II took position 200 meters east. Baker IV hid in a sunken lane to the south. A triangle. 3 sides of an ambush. The first Tiger appeared at 11:53 hours. It came down the main road slowly, its 88-millimeter gun sweeping left and right. Then the second, then the third. They formed a column, maintaining 50-meter spacing. Professional. These were veterans from the Eastern Front. All 5 Tigers sat idling at the crossroads. Then the lead Tiger's turret rotated toward the Bocage. The 88-millimeter gun fired. The shell hit the farmhouse and exploded. The building came apart like cardboard. Stones showered across Harding's Sherman, but they were still hidden. The Tigers advanced into the hedgerows, smashing through ancient barriers. The lead Tiger was 100 meters away when it stopped. The commander sensed something. The turret began to rotate, searching. Now, Harding said. Kovac fired. The 75-millimeter shell hit the Tiger's left track at 70 meters. The track exploded. The Tiger lurched sideways. Williams opened fire from the east. His shell hit the same Tiger's right side. The Tiger settled into the mud, both tracks destroyed, immobilized. But its gun still worked. The turret spun toward Williams. The 88-millimeter fired. Williams' Sherman took the round on its frontal armor. The shell ricocheted skyward. Williams' tank stalled, but remained intact. The other 4 Tigers opened fire blindly into the hedgerows, but they couldn't see targets in the dense Bocage. They were firing at ghosts. "Back up!" Harding screamed.
The 3 Shermans scattered, using terrain, breaking line of sight. The immobilized tiger sat abandoned. The other 4 tigers were backing away, trying to regroup, but the Bocage didn't give them space. Every hedgerow forced them into single file, and single file meant 1 tank at a time. All units, pick your targets. Fire on my mark. 3 Shermans opened fire from 3 directions. 3 shells hit 3 different tigers. None penetrated, but all 3 hit tracks and suspension. The tigers weren't destroyed, but they were crippled, trapped. For the next 6 minutes, Harding's Shermans played a deadly game of cat and mouse. They'd fire from one position, destroy a track, then disappear before the tigers could return fire. The Germans were trying to form a defensive circle, but the terrain wouldn't let them. The Bocage broke every rule of tank warfare. By 11:59 hours, all 5 tigers sat immobilized in the mud, their tracks shattered, surrounded by Shermans they couldn't catch and couldn't see until it was too late. Command's reinforcements arrived at 12:03 hours. 12 fresh Shermans and infantry support. They found Harding's 3 tanks positioned around 5 crippled tigers, like wolves around wounded bears. When the German crews finally surrendered, climbing out with hands raised, Harding counted them. 20 men total. He'd lost 4 Shermans and 16 men to kill 1 tiger and cripple 5 more. The tiger commander who'd radioed the warning was the last to emerge. He was older, maybe 35, with an iron cross at his throat. He looked at Harding's battered Sherman, then at the Bocage, then back at Harding. "You should not have won," he said in careful English. Harding lit a cigarette with shaking hands. "We didn't win because we were better. We won because you thought you couldn't lose." That night, Harding sat in his tank and wrote the after-action report. Command would want to know how 3 Shermans defeated 5 tigers. The answer was simple, but nobody would believe it. You don't beat superior firepower with superior firepower. You beat it with terrain, with tactics, with the willingness to turn your greatest weakness into bait. The Tiger was the most powerful tank in the world, but power means nothing if you can't use it. And in the narrow lanes and ancient hedgerows of Normandy, all that power just made you a bigger target. Harding looked at his crew sleeping in their positions. Kovac still clutching his gunner's controls. Chen curled around an empty shell casing. Daniels with his head on the bow gun. They'd proven something that day. Something the textbooks and the generals didn't understand. War isn't won by the side with the best weapons. It's won by the side that refuses to fight the enemy's battle. In the distance, he could hear more engines. More tigers probably, rolling toward new battles, new crossroads, new American crews who would have to learn the same lesson Harding had learned. That sometimes survival isn't about being stronger. It's about being smarter. About turning the enemy's strength into their weakness. About understanding that the scariest weapon on the battlefield isn't the one that can kill you fastest. It's the one you never see coming.